All right. So for the habit this week, what we're going to be talking about is eating whole foods. Now, in this context, we're going to talk about eating whole foods for the goal of losing weight. So the first question you probably have is, what makes a whole food a whole food? What I want you to think of is think of an apple, a whole apple, applesauce, and then an apple Nutrigrain bar. The apple itself is the whole food form because we haven't done anything to alter it. So the reason I give that example is what we're going to be talking about in this video is building a diet and the foods around eating them as natural as possible. So when you're going to the grocery store, because this is going to be so important for what your goal of weight loss is, we're going to come up with a little bit of a strategy. You could call it like a bulletproof grocery list is what we'll call it here. And what I want you to think of is I'm going to put an infographic on the screen here. It's going to have three categories. It's going to have proteins, carbs, and fats. And what we're going to focus on is finding foods that you really enjoy, that you are very enjoyable, because if you don't like them, you're not going to stick with it, but they also support your goal. So what we're going to focus on here is finding 3 to 5 foods from each of these categories, the green light categories. So this concept is called a green light, orange light, red light model. So it means green light like a traffic light. Green means go. So this is what we want to build our diet around. It's pillars. So as you'll see on the screen, it's things like chicken. It's things like beef. It's things like Greek yogurt, eggs. These are high protein foods that support your goal. Now, if you look at carbohydrates, it's things like sweet potatoes and brown rice, quinoa, fruits, all things, again, that are natural, but they're also taking you towards your goal. Now, for this week specifically, now this is when you take out your phone or notepad, because this is homework number 1. I want you to look at this article, the green light, red light, orange light model, and pick 3 to 5 foods from each category in the green lights. These are the foods that when you go to the grocery store, you're going to hunt these things down like it's your only job. So find 3 to 5 proteins you really, really enjoy. Write them down on your grocery list right now. And then you're going to find 3 to 5 carbs you really like that are in the green light category. And then you're going to find 1 to 3 fats you really enjoy. We'll explain more later why the fats are less, but that's not for today. I don't want to confuse you. So once you have those down on your grocery list, then we scroll down and we look at the orange light model. So these are foods that are still pretty good to have and you can still eat them. We're not cutting them out, we're not eliminating them, but it's just we want to eat a little bit less of an overall percentage. So if you picture like a pizza. There's 100% of a pizza. 60 to 70% of the pizza, we want to be our green light foods. These are each week, that's the portion of how much of that you're eating. For the orange category, you're eating between 15 to 20% orange light foods. And then for the red light foods, it's about 10%. So orange light, now you're going to pick 1 to 3 orange light foods for each category. Proteins, carbs. 1 to 2 for fats. So by now you should have your green light foods for the proteins, carbs, and fats. The orange light foods for your proteins, carbs, fats. And then for red light foods, this is the most controversial topic. So you want to lose weight. So you naturally have to go on an extreme diet. You have to restrict. You can't eat the foods you love. Beer's gone. No, that's not the case. I love beer. I love nachos. I believe balance is key. If you love Ben and Jerry's, we'll find a way to make it work. So for the red light foods, I want you to find 3 items on there that you really enjoy. Foods that you know you'll really look forward to, during a hard week or at the end of a long hard week that you know will really brighten your day and it's something that you can really look forward to. Write those down on your grocery list too, because you get to have those. We're not going to eliminate all the things you love. That's not sustainable. So once you have all of your foods, you have this bulletproof grocery list on your phone, on your notepad, wherever you wrote it down. You're now ready to go to the grocery store. Now, I will say one thing before you go to the grocery store, that Don't smoke any marijuana before you go because you're going to be hungry. And eat something before you go so you're not impulsive. Because you're going to end up with double the... It's like going to Costco when you're hungry. You come back, you're like, oh, I'll get 1 or 2 things in bulk, and then you spend $400. Not what we want to do today. So eat some food, stay away from the extracurricular substances, and get ready to go to the grocery store. So now that you're heading to the grocery store with your grocery list, you're going to notice something. So you may have heard this model before, but at the grocery store, they have a system where on the perimeter of the grocery store, they have all their fresh foods. So they have things like the bakery, they have things like dairy, meat, fresh produce. All of these things are on the outside of the grocery store because they're fresh, they'll go bad, they need to be able to change them out easily. Now in the middle, in the aisles, this is where the stuff that could survive a zombie apocalypse would be. This stuff will survive there for a long, long time on those shelves because it's heavily processed. So we want to spend at least 80% of our time on the perimeter. And then when you have to, brave the aisles and head in there, you know what you're going for. So things like examples are rice, oils, dried fruits, dried nuts, seeds, beans, sauces. Like the list is endless. Popcorn, oats, certain snack foods you really enjoy that take you towards your goal. But when you go into the aisles, make sure you have a plan, because if you're trying to lose weight, and that's what we're talking about right now, you need to be in a calorie deficit at the end of the day. And it's really easy to overeat some of those foods because they're designed in the laboratory to make you want to eat more of them. So you get your groceries, you go, you survive the aisles, zombie apocalypse style, you get in, you get out. You get home, now you have your groceries for the week. And you have all these healthy foods, perishable foods, and then you're going to go and you're going to do your first meal prep of the week. So this is the last thing we're going to talk about today, and this is your homework for today. So what you're going to do, take out your phone or calendar right now, or your whiteboard, or your weekly planner, your daily planner, your carrier pigeon. I don't care what you use, but however you track your time and you plan your appointments and you plan things that are coming up in your life, I want you to pull that out now. The most important thing that you can do to take you to your goal of losing weight is preparing what kind of food is going to go in your body. Because if you don't prepare, you can prepare to fail. It's just the way it is. So pick a time right now that you're going to be able to spend 2 to 3 hours and do your meal prep for the week. And how that might look is, let's say you bought some chicken breast, you bought some rice, and you bought some vegetables. You might bake your chicken breast, you might cook your rice in the rice cooker on the stovetop, and then you might steam your vegetables. Those should make at least 4 meals for the week. And you need to double that with your second meal. So you have your chicken, your rice, your broccoli, and then maybe you have some fresh vegetables and you have some salmon, and you're going to make salads for dinner with your partner. Great. You now know your 2 big meals. Then you can think about other little things like, what am I going to have for a snack? You bought some Greek yogurt? Perfect. Put it in a couple small containers with some berries, maybe a couple seeds like some sunflower seeds, and then boom, you have your snacks ready. Once you've done this, you're going to realize how nice it is because you have a long day of work and maybe you're overwhelmed and you don't want to cook. You don't have to because it's already cooked for you. So those are your habits for the week. So whole foods, plan in advance, go to the grocery store with a plan. Pick one time per week where you can actually get your meal prepping done, and then stick with it. Hold yourself accountable to it, and then prepare for success, because this is a key habit to your success in weight loss. There's going to be many more habits to come throughout your journey, but if you can just nail this one really well this week, you're going to be one step closer to your goal. See you next time.